I'd like to take these 4 minutes to discuss the sustainability of the practices of the Athabasca oil sands and the related environmental issues. The Athabasca oil sands, more commonly known as the Alberta oil sands, are located around Fort McMurray, Alberta. The oil sands produce 1.9 million barrels of oil per day, according to the Government of Alberta webpage. These oil sands are the third largest source of crude oil in the world, only behind Saudi Arabia and Venezuela. The oil sands are referred to in many different ways, from the key to Canada's economic salvation to the greatest environmental disaster in Canada. There is always negative talk about the oil sands, despite the fact that Alberta will spend $6.1 billion in green technology in the next 5 years, more than all other Canadian provinces combined. The fact of the matter is, the oil sands are a necessary resource that must be pushed to increase their sustainable practices, not shut down altogether. It seems these days there are a lot of experts on the oil sands. Unfortunately, most of these experts range from being simply uneducated on the facts to being complete hypocrites. Criticizing the oil sands has become a popular pet project for Hollywood celebrities trying to improve their public image. Celebrities like Neil Young, Leonardo DiCaprio, and many others are making the trip to the oil sands. However, they really lose their credibility when they fly up to Fort McMurray on their private jets. Celebrities have some of the largest ecological footprints of any individual in the world, yet they have the audacity to preach about how negative the effects of carbon fuels are, despite their lack of education on the topic. Leonardo DiCaprio, for example, an A-list celebrity with lots of pull, is strongly condemning the oil sands. He also rented one of the world's largest gas-guzzling super yachts to watch the most recent World Cup. You might ask who he rented it from? Ironically, from a government official in the oil-abundant United Arab Emirates. Oil money paid for his World Cup adventures. After hearing about this, it's really difficult to give DiCaprio's opinions on the oil sands much thought. The fact of the matter is, most of these public figures, environmentalists, really don't have much idea what they're talking about, and some have the largest ecological footprints. It's time to get real. We need oil. There's no suitable alternative, and we simply are not ready to live in an oil-free world. So let's talk about what Alberta is doing to make their oil as clean as possible. As far as oil extraction goes, other than Saudi and Venezuela, the Alberta oil sands are as clean of oil production as anyone. Saudi Arabia and Venezuela have the possibility of extracting cleaner oil, as they are able to drill for oil. However, we must also consider the huge amounts of energy used to ship these resources to North America, as well as the possibility of oil spill. The Alberta oil sands use a combination of surface mining and SAGD to extract oil. SAGD stands for Steam-Assisted Gravity Drainage, and involves steam being shot through the ground to lower the viscosity of the oil product and allow it to drain out of the ground. This technique is not environmentally sound, as it uses a lot of energy in producing the steam and a lot of fresh water. Processing of the dirty oil also produces emissions. In comparison to the Saudi oil, the oil sands are not perfect. But the one difference is, there is pressure in Canada to follow the triple bottom line of sustainability. I can't lie, the oil sands are nowhere near the triple bottom line. But realistically, we must all accept that we have no current alternative to oil. Instead of simply protesting and condemning the Alberta oil sands, we must work with the oil industry to develop more environmental processes. If we can work to reduce the environmental effects caused by the oil sands over the next 20 years, we can keep the economic profit and job production that the oil sands are responsible for. This will allow oil companies to give back to society with the profits created through the economic success. I believe we can indeed have it all.